Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. Today we're joined by Mohammed and Jassmi, the culture presenter at SMCCU, the home of Open Minds, Open Doors, Open Minds. He's here to share how the center is playing a key role in preserving and promoting Emirati culture and traditions. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Nice. Thank you for inviting me here.
We're so excited, and this is a special note for those of you who follow us on our social media page. If you've seen most of the videos where we share information about the Emirati culture, it's usually reposts from at SMCCU. So these guys are the real deal, and they really know what they're talking about. So let's start off.
What is the vision behind Open Minds, Open Doors?
So basically, Open Doors, Open Minds, it's kind of an idea that started more than 20 years ago with our director, Abdullah Sarkal. So basically, he saw that there's a lot of tourists, there are a lot of people and residents who live in Dubai, but don't know about the locals, don't know about Emiratis.
True, that's very true.
And we are kind of a minority, we are kind of around 10%, 11%. So he kind of saw that he wanted to show people more about us. But in a more casual way, in a way that you can come to our house, see our majlis, the guest room, talk with us, get to know us more, in a very casual kind of environment. So he created this idea, then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now we basically are in Al Fahidi historical neighborhood. We have 3 houses there that we do have different programs to show people more about our culture, basically. So it's more about opening the doors and opening the minds of people about Emirati culture.
So how many people come to your center daily?
A lot. It depends. So the numbers exactly we don't know. But for example, we do have some programs that we have around 80 to 100 people at one time. Sometimes we do have at the same time we have around 200 people in different houses. So it can reach to 500 to 1,000 sometimes.
Wow.
So a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
I really love this concept because I think growing up in the UAE, in Dubai especially, for us it's been a kind of a scary experience to approach anyone with a kandura because you're like, oh my God, they're like the people. So to have something like this where it's so up close and personal is so exciting. But, so like me, I'm sure many people have had some very awkward misconceptions about the Emirati culture. So can you tell us any of them and how you deal with it?
Okay. So this is one of the misconceptions also, being afraid of us. You can come and talk to us. Maybe we are a very, conservative culture. We are very family-oriented, let's say, in this. But we are fine to talk with anyone. We are fine to answer anyone's question, about us, about anything related to our culture. Now, what is the misconceptions? Of course, there's a lot of misconceptions. One of them, which a lot of people would come to us think that everyone is rich, in the UAE. Like I have a Lamborghini, standing. I always tell them, not yet, but
one day.
So, but the thing is, we always tell them that yes, we are as Emiratis, we are privileged, to be honest. We are very lucky and blessed with our leadership. That you won't find, a very poor Emirati family that cannot provide for his house, for school, for education, for healthcare. So the main kind of standard for every Emirati family is there. So that maybe kind of gives people that. But of course, there is also some wealthy, rich families at the same time.
Of course.
But we don't have our Lamborghinis.
Important note.
So for people that want to visit the center, let's say tourists, visitors, expats, what are the unique experiences that they can expect?
So basically, we do have different programs. We do have the cultural meals. We have the heritage tours. So the cultural meals are basically breakfast, an Emirati breakfast, which you can try the breakfast with an Emirati presenter too. Ooh. So you try the food, then enjoy some talk with an Emirati, ask questions, answer those questions, get an answer from an Emirati. Then at the same time, we have the heritage tours, which contains the house. So you can see the house in the beginning, then go around the historical neighborhood, which is Al Fahidi, what is shown here behind us.
I love Al Fahidi, by the way. That's such an amazing location to have.
It's very amazing, especially in winter. Then you have also the mosque, which is also a big part. We do have also a separate program, which is just the Jumeirah Mosque program, which is, I think, one of our most kind of famous program that we have. And the center started with the mosque program, I would say, which teaches people a little bit about Islam, about the mosque itself, you know, in a very brief way, where they can understand it basically. And one of the programs that is coming up also soon, which is the Ramadan Iftar program.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's one of my favorite, to be honest, because you know, it's very casual. You could try the iftar, so people could come, try breaking the fast with us, experience. Then we go to the mosque, also tell them more about the mosque. Then we come back, we sit together. We do have some kind of board games, Emirati board games that we used to play a lot before. So it's a nice and kind of cozy kind of environment.
Full experience package. What a way to sell it, really.
Exactly. So Ramadan is coming, and this is kind of, let's say, I don't miss program.
It's a fun Ramadan activity to look forward to.
Yeah.
Now, diving a little deeper into your programs, are there any historical aspects or elements that you feel like you know, want to highlight a little more through your programs, you know?
So mainly, I would say a big part in our programs is to tell people a lot of things that they wouldn't know. From maybe searching on Google or doing certain things. You know, sometimes some questions you might get it. But different questions might be, let's say, one of the questions about our clothes, you know, the Emirati kind of clothes, what do you wear, what is this, what's called, why do you wear it, how did it start? About the color, should we wear white or different colors, you know? So we tell them about our kind of Emirati clothes. We tell them, let's say, about our weddings. It's a big question that we get here a lot.
Oh, big weddings.
The weddings happen here. They have big weddings. How many days, stays? You know, relationships, how does it happen here? You know, we live in a very different culture, let's say, than the Western culture. So when they come here, see how things happen here, like how do you do that? You know? Also, of course, generally also about how Dubai grow really fast, and how the Emiratis generally cope with that. How do you see that changes that happen, you know? How do we preserve our culture in such environment? So those kind of common questions that we get a lot.
And the most important thing is that the women are not oppressed.
Exactly.
The women are not oppressed.
Exactly. And you know, it's one of the, I would say, the best part and being presenter or being a tour guide or a cultural guide is getting to see the people, getting to know their questions, you know, from all backgrounds. You know, we get people from everywhere. From everywhere. So you get to see the different angles. From where do they see UAE? From where do they see, you know, Muslims, Arabs? How do you see them? And I see it a big responsibility from us, you know, to change certain perspective, to show people more about us, like who we really are. So yeah.
And what would you want people to take away from the programs that you have?
To see that you are cute people. You don't have to be that. So one of the main things, of course, also that, you know, UAE and Dubai is not based, you know, people always just see Dubai as, oh, it's money, people are rich there and everything. But I want them to see the essence, you know, of the UAE, the culture, the values that we have. Generally as Muslims, as Arabs, as Emiratis, you know, what is the things that we stand on. And one of the big parts also, I see a big responsibility also as Muslim, you know, to show people who are Muslims are and this. Because, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of different, you know, stereotypes, certain things. So it's kind of a responsibility from us to show the people who we really are, you know,
how we actually live.
And everything. So yeah.
That's amazing. Such a beautiful way to, you know, open minds, open doors. Open doors, open minds.
It goes together.
It goes together. So what's next? You know, what are you guys going to stick to the Fahidi area? Are we looking at expansions? What's next for?
So basically, maybe for us, the expansion will be going around the UAE, I would say. This is a big thing. Maybe we think about it in different ways, but we try to focus also on different segments. So not just people coming to us. We try to make people come to us. It's better, it's different. You know, to come in a historical house, to be in a house that is more than 150 years old, it's different. But also to expand that knowledge, to expand that culture, we also go to universities, we go to schools, sometimes we go to certain kind of companies that want, let's say, to know more about the culture. They have different employees, you know, in Dubai especially, we do have different nationalities living together. So you want to show them what is the UAE culture. So we are trying to kind of be on those different fields. We're trying to get as much as people as we have. The students also are very important, you know, especially that you grow in the UAE and that, but you don't know Emiratis. So for them to see that, for them to see the history behind Dubai, and not just, you know, the big things, the glamorous thing, but to see the essence, to see the history, I think is very important.
Are you currently working on any initiatives or campaigns?
Different campaigns now. I think Ramadan is a big
Ramadan
thing coming
now,
up, so it's one of the biggest things that we are focusing on now, that to show people more about Ramadan also. And every kind of Ramadan we try to kind of insert a new thing, like a different kind of activities together to make it also more fun at the same time. And one of the big things I always tell, like, what is the difference in our center, like different than any other place, that we're trying to make people learn and have fun at the same time, to enjoy. We are not there to, you know, to tell you a presentation about the culture and for you to go. No, we're here to talk, talk with each other, get to know more about the culture. And we also want to get to know our guests also at the same time. So sometimes, especially with a bigger number of guests, like 50 or 100, it's very hard. But when you have like 20 or something or less, you get to know the guests also, which is something I really have fun with.
That's an interesting point. So you meet a lot of people from different countries. Have you ever been able to like relate with another culture and go like, oh yeah, this is so similar to like what we practice?
Exactly. I really see that a lot. And I came to a point, I realized something, that we are more like similar to each other, more than being different. Like we do have a lot of similarities. People coming from different religions, different backgrounds, different cultures. You would notice that there is someone in Mexico doing the same thing as I'm doing here. Listen.
And there are other side of the world.
Do you have any like examples or like this?
For example, one of the things that maybe I saw it also when I traveled, that, you know, we do have a Bedouin culture, a very big Bedouin culture, kind of a nomadic life. In Kazakhstan, for example, Central Asia, they do a very similar thing. They have also tents there, but it's different kind of tents. Of course, they have very cold weather. So they have tents. They live that kind of nomadic life. At the same time, they have camels, but different. We do have one-hump camels. They have two-hump camels.
Oh.
Yeah. At the same time, we have falcons here. They have eagles there.
Oh, wow.
So
it's
very similar. The life is very similar, but in a different kind of environment. And kind of they live in kind of mountain areas, and we live kind of in the desert. But it's around very similar things. But of course, kind of small things changes. What else? Like there is a lot of countries, to be honest, like, oh, we do the same thing, you know, or we had the same kind of dessert but in a different way. For example, we have the leguemat here that we always have it in every kind of cultural meal program. So they always tell us, oh, we do have a similar thing to that. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, like in India, we have the gulab jamun, I think, which could be close. It's a softer version.
So you're there to teach the Emirati culture, and you learn about other people's cultures as well. So it's like give and take.
I learn a lot, to be honest. Like in the last 3 or 4 years, I learned a lot from the people coming. I always say I'm privileged to be in a place that I get to know, you know, the world from one place, you know, to get to see their cultures, to get to know them, you know. Sometimes if we have time at the end of the program, I always like everyone to introduce themselves, to tell us more about their countries. And for me personally, I changed a lot of stereotypes I had about certain countries.
Really? Like what? Wow. Can you give us an example?
I don't know, can't say that or not. But for example,
it's changed now.
Yeah, for example, like I used to think Germans are very like strict people, you know. Like, you know, very straight people. And it feels like no, you know,
that's true.
It's different, you know. So when you see those differences,
we have the stereotype of Germans. That's so true. But I'm glad that you changed it.
You know what I'm really looking? I've heard so much about. I've seen a bunch of videos about the old traditional Emirati houses and the kind of like the
barjeel. I think
the tower. I think yes, the tower and how it acts as a natural air conditioner into the houses. I'm really looking forward to maybe incorporating that into Dubai's like new age architecture and like buildings, because I just think something like that, it is so eco-friendly and so smart at the same time, which is, and I'm like, why aren't we building the same practice into like the newer age Dubai?
Maybe it's hotter now. I don't know.
Yeah, like, maybe you should.
Global warming.
Yeah.
Might
Oh,
be.
so it doesn't work like.
So see, the barjil, of course, it's a very smart technique that they had before for making breeze coming to the rooms and that. But barjil was part of the house, like it wasn't for the whole house. But at the same time, the house was different, was built different. So the houses before was in Al Fahidi and Shandaga area. You would see them; they are built with coral stones, gypsum, mud.
Wow,
Yes.
Those kind of materials are different from the cement, for example,
Right.
today. It kind of contains the air. It's cool. Whenever you touch it, it won't be hot, very hot to touch. It will be kind of cool. At the same time, the house used to be kind of a square or a kind of rectangular shape, and it's open from the middle. So the air also could come inside. And the barjil would be part that would be attached to one of the rooms.
Sure.
So it's not all the house. It would be one of the rooms that made it cooler. It was kind of, let's say, sometimes they say it was for the guests whenever they come. It's for the elderly in the house. Because before, of course, we lived also with different family members that would live together in the same house. Every kind of members would have a certain room for them. So it was part of the houses. But I think we need ACs now.
Yeah, that's true.
Cannot live without AC.
Technology developed.
Have you been able to like inspire anyone from another culture? After your programs, has it brought about like a change in their life? Like maybe have they taken bold decisions towards the UAE? Like maybe I don't know, just getting
Maybe
inspired
moving
to
here.
learn,
Interesting
getting
question.
inspired to learn Arabic, maybe.
To be honest, maybe one of the things that it's kind of an emotional something to hear or to see. I remember we had a guest in one of the Ramadan maybe last year or before last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was a Mexican lady.
Okay.
And I was talking about our leadership, especially Sheikh Zayed, may he rest in peace, and our founder, how he was, how people loved him, and all of this. And she didn't know English very good. She had like her cousin who translated also to her, and she was crying in the middle of the program. I was like, okay. And for me, that was like something amazing, and to see that, to see how she got this kind of, how I'm talking about our leaders, and she was very emotional to that, how we are attached to our leadership, how is the relationship with the Emirati and their leadership. To see that influence in them, to see how they see that kind of relationship, to see that part. Maybe it kind of changed something in her. Maybe she remembered something. But this is something great to take to take that part of showing the culture to people, of understanding others. Getting to know the other cultures makes you really respect that culture more. So we try, of course, our best to influence others in terms of giving a good reputation about Emiratis, about UAE, about Arabs, about Muslims generally, to change any kind of bad perspective that they had. This is, I think, one of the greatest things that you can just leave someone with.
I think we forget how important it is to do that also. Living in a country that has international people and international tourists, international expats, we're forgetting that the importance of preserving one's culture.
Exactly.
And if people want to learn more about the upcoming campaigns and
Or
initiatives
book programs.
and book programs, how can they do so?
So basically, two main parts: our social media account, which is at SMCCU Dubai, and our website, which is cultures.ae. Those being kind of streams, I would say, whenever we have kind of new kind of programs, whenever we have new campaigns that comes up, we always have it in social media and the website, basically.
Cultures.ae. Visit the website to not miss out on any campaigns. Thank you so much for being here,
You're
Mohammed.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Annika. And this brings us to the end of the morning show. Please tune in tomorrow. We go live 8:30 a.m. every day. Bye-bye.